Habibis. Habibis, welcome.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, Habibis. We is here. Let's show some comments. We got Carlos up in here. My body is ready.
It's still not iftar time yet here in California, so that's kind of haram, Carlos.
Yeah, I mean it's Ramadan, man. It's time to keep halal. So actually, it's kind of funny that a lot of people. I was getting a lot of feedback yesterday. People were asking me why is it not Wednesday? And people thought it was actually they weren't sure what day it was. I feel like that's just a common theme. No one really knows what day it is.
No, everything's meshing into one during quarantine. It's nobody knows what day it is, what month it is. Everything's just swooping by. I mean, I need the beaches to open because I'm white enough where I'm not going to get stopped by the TSA anymore, and that can't happen.
we gotta get you stopped by TSA more often.
Right. I need to get my brown skin coming back.
Yeah. So what are we drinking tonight?
So I'm going through the tropical Truly thing because I hate beer. Beer to me is absolutely one of the worst things to go through. So I go either with Truly or White Claw. It's the white Chad in me.
I got myself a little diet orange crush.
Well, you have to keep it
like a little puss.
I'm surprised it's not a lemon drink, to be honest.
I'm surprised it's not White Claw. Man. Man, there's so much going on this past week. You and I were talking about how we had no idea how many stories that there were to cover just in the last week. And it feels like, I mean, the first month of this pandemic, there was just only covering coronavirus, and that was it. Now, right. Everything's just exploded.
Exactly. Well, because I think just like with what's going on with the news and everything, is that slowly the coronavirus is becoming in the background. It's in the back scene with a lot of people's with a lot of people's minds in the news and all that kind of stuff. So it's allowing some other things come up and explode onto the scene. So it's
good. I mean, I happen to think that everyone's brain was really melting in the beginning, and I had to switch everything from daily power ranking to weekly, and I'm glad I did it because now I can free myself up for things like this. Because otherwise I would be spending all my time compiling a daily list, and it would kill me. I can't tell you how mad I made the wife just doing this every single night. Because I mean, if you're on Pacific time, the thing I really enjoyed about being in California for times visiting is that everything on the East Coast would end, but your night was just beginning.
Right.
That's always the coolest thing.
It's lucky for me out here because I get to see it all, and I'm still not as tired as a lot of the people are already of the stories of what's going on Twitter, all that kind of stuff. So.
Oh man, I'm getting some feedback here. I brought wired headphones. Should I throw the wired headphones back on?
Yeah, you probably should. I need to spend a little bit of money on a microphone or something.
Oh man! All right, I'm gonna switch it up. Give me a sec.
This is a boomer moment. We can't hear you.
Oh, okay. I just had to unmute my mic. The real boomer moment.
I think Ramadan's getting to you, man. You need to get some more fats into your brain.
Carlos up in here. Oh, Carlos up in here. Siraj, it sounded like you were making a hostage tape with that sound quality. Oh, and Kate's joining us. Kate says the silence is as long as Biden
and Hillary. Well,
that was so awkward. That was so
that was. But and the funny thing is, everything she does is awkward. Everything she's ever done is awkward as a person. She's never had, and I'm talking about Hillary, not Kate.
Yeah,
Hillary has never had that like charisma.
What's funny is that you and I have had. I mean, like we have a group chat with Yashad. Am I saying it right this time? I better
Yashad.
Yashad.
You got to say it like a Persian. Yashad.
Because he didn't work with Hillary or close to Hillary, but in some capacity. Did he work for Hillary at some point in time?
No, I think friends, like their acquaintances or friends.
He keeps talking about like he's told us. And I think he's been public about it, about how like warm and jokey and lighthearted she is. But like for some reason, every time she gets into the spotlight, it's just like she flips the switch and it's just the complete opposite.
You never know if she's going to kill you or like that's the feeling you have. It's like you got to watch your back every time she's talking. It gets.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, and like. With Hillary, we didn't even talk that much about how awkward that silence was because that was like over a week ago, which now feels like 10 years ago. But at the same time, I mean, there's just this past week, all the focus has been on Joe Biden and his allegations of sexual misconduct against Tara Reade, and like nobody's falling for like none of instead of the Me Too people sort of like getting up in arms and condemning Biden, they're completely simping for him right now.
Oh, absolutely. It's going like they're throwing her under the bus in a way that she's like a sacrifice for the greater good or something like that. When it came to any other case, there's no leeway. It has to be. You have to believe the woman. It's 100% guilty. All of that. But when it comes to Biden, you see the scam of what the Me Too movement was and how they were using the claims of sexual harassment as a weapon. Yeah. And when you put the comments of every senator from Warren to every one of them that was during the Kavanaugh hearing, and you put what they said with Kavanaugh to what they're saying with Biden, it's kind of like they're just saying that bitch is a liar, and we believe Biden. And
I'm gonna try something. Pull up something here. Let me see if I can get this. Oh no, I can't make anything look good. God, I am such a boomer right now.
The Ramadan is turning you into your own father.
All right, so let's just look at this Jen Rubin tweet. I have no idea how to like shift this so that like maybe our faces. Oh, that makes it worse.
Yeah, exactly. We don't need to see that at the end of the day.
So there's Jen Rubin writing in only a few days ago. The burden is always on the prosecutor / claimant. That's the essence of our justice system. All right, so let's rewind back. Okay. September 2018. Kavanaugh's refusal to ask the FBI to investigate is inexplicable unless he is afraid of what they might find.
And this is after 6 FBI investigations, not investigations, but after the FBI has done vetting, 6 FBI vetting of Kavanaugh. She tweets some shit like that, and it just goes out to show, like every one of the Project Lincoln grifters. That's what they are. They're just grifters. They're there to make money off of the people that they know that they can make money off of. Yeah. And right now, that's the reactional left. Before it was the reactional right, and now it's the reactional left.
Yeah, my buddy Matt Whitlock over at the National Republican Senatorial Committee, he pointed out how most of the money that they're raising at the Lincoln Project is just going right into their pockets. It's not like going to any of their causes, which is it's quite hilarious. And then Dana Perino over at Fox News, she sort of like spread that out and amplified it, and then Trump was tweeting about it. But I feel like Trump almost had somewhat of a own goal right there. He sort of shot himself in the foot by tweeting out anything in relation to them, because their fundraising went through the roof. And I mean, kind of an unforced error right there.
Absolutely. If he just stayed quiet about them and stuff, it would he wouldn't have done that, and he wouldn't have allowed people who haven't heard about him hear about him.
Yeah.
And thing is, there's a lot of people who hate him, who follow him, who will just jump and give their money into anything that, you know, calls him an asshole or anything like that. And yeah. I think they're really happy about that.
Kate Hyde asked, "Is Hillary the only mom on this earth that Jay would pass on?"
I wouldn't pass on anyone's mother. There's not a mom on this earth that I would pass on.
No, but
except for Chelsea's. Chelsea's mom is the only mother I would.
What was that?
Except for Chelsea's. She's the only mother I would.
She's the
her mother's the only one I would pass on. That's it. Everyone else's is fair game. For sure.
I think that'll have to be the clip right there. That's going to be the highlight clip.
That's the one that's going on your Instagram.
That's the one that's going. That's the one that's going on the gram and on Twitter. And I'm sure Carlos is going to clip that.
Right.
So, yeah. In light of all the Me Too stuff, you mentioned to me beforehand that Molly Jong-Fast had an article about how Republicans were trying to kill the Me Too movement, and that was like pretty much the whole motivation behind amplifying Tara Reade's voice and making sure that these allegations against Joe Biden stick is to kill the Me Too movement. I read through her article. I don't necessarily agree with her. I don't know if I would put her on the list. Maybe I have to like go back and read her original tweet on it. But
well, you would have to read like her original thoughts on Brett Kavanaugh. And the thing is that she wants to pretend that what they were doing with Brett Kavanaugh and Ford was completely in earnest for the Me Too movement and for survivors of sexual abuse and stuff over an allegation that was in high school, and they wanted to go through his calendar, through his journals, through all of these things. Over an allegation made by a woman who had who couldn't name a time and place, whose friends all did not corroborate her story, and also when it came to women coming out to speak for Kavanaugh, they mainly had great things to say about him. And when you look at what's going on with Tara, is you see that her friends actually support her story. You see that there was actually a call made into Larry King in the 1990s. Mm-hmm. And there's actually more there. And it was in 1993 when he was a senator, not in high school.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more there for Tara than there was with Ford.
Oh, there's definitely a lot more corroboration for Tara Reade. I just want to pull up a few things just because it's just there are some things that are just so brazenly just dumb. And let me pull up. We'll get into a few comments in a sec, but I want to pull up a couple tweets here. Kirsten Powers says, as I point out in my column today, there is no double standard in the way Kavanaugh was treated versus Biden. A few Dems called for immediate withdrawal of nomination, but the prevailing view is that the accusation should be heard and investigated. Same should be done with Reade. Okay.
wait, can you go back to it so we can see that?
Let's look at it a little bit more. Okay.
Look at that ratio. That is that is a beautiful thing.
That isn't that something? Isn't that great? Just beautiful. That's a piece of art right there.
No, it is, and the best thing about this is that she scrubbed her timeline during that was part of the Kavanaugh hearing. She completely scrubbed it because she knew that for 100% what she tweeted out about Biden contradicted how she was tweeting the story out for Ford and Kavanaugh.
Thankfully, the internet is forever. Someone ended up archiving all of her tweets to make sure that was never lost on anyone. Here's another good bit from the New York Times. This is Linda Hirschman, who wrote, I believe Tara Reid, "I'm voting for Joe Biden anyway." The importance of owning an ugly moral choice. That actually sounded more like something. It sounded like Linda Hirschman. I actually don't know what Linda Hirschman sounds like, but that's probably right. For the best.
I think you're right there. Because Linda Hirschman sounds like a white Karen type name.
It's a Karen name. Even though her name's Linda, she's definitely a Karen.
100%.
She is Karening. She is being a Karen to other women, which is the worst possible type of Karen.
Right.
It's Karen on Karen crime, even though Tara Reid is not
Karen on Karen crime. Yeah.
The thing is, like, and I read through her article as well. I wanted to make sure that when I dunk on these people, that it's not really done in a way that is half-hearted. Like, I actually understand what they're saying, and they're still being disingenuous pieces of shit. So let's.
No, but that's exactly what it is. It's complete disingenuous pieces of garbage. What I like to call them is human shit.
Yeah. Matt's idea, who we missed on Twitter, by the way. I think he goes by Sports Shop right now. How do you rate your YouTube video? It's a good question.
Well, you upvote the YouTube video. That's how you do it. You upvote as much as you can.
You could also share this to everyone you know and tell them that this counts as a ratio.
Views and upvotes.
Let's see. How many phones has Jennifer Rubin gone through? I've lost count of how many times I put Rubin on the list. I really should keep a better track of it, but she is just every take that's ever come out of her brain has been the worst.
She's one of the people you've mentioned before. Like, her takes aren't shocking anymore. They're not. They're very contradictory to what she was a couple of years ago, and all of that kind of stuff. Just like with Bill Mitchell, just like with even Trump. Like, his tweets, they don't shock anymore. They're just whatever.
That's why I don't put them at number one all the time. It's just because they don't shock anymore.
Right.
By the way, I'm convinced that Jen Rubin and Max Boot are the same person. And all Jen Rubin does to become Max Boot is put on a fedora and glasses.
And then it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
That's 100%. This
is from Carlos, who always has a good question. Is Jen Rubin a mom? Because...
Well, I'm going to hit that DM tonight because I think she is. I'll let you guys know how that goes.
If we're lucky... Jay's gonna make her a mom.
Right. We'll see how it works.
Sarah Jacobs asks, could Molly Jong Fats just please stick to chiclet? It's what she and her mother are any good at.
Shit.
Samir Sampat asks, Jennifer Rubin is an intentional cell phone troll account, right? That would probably be the closest thing to it. Oh, here's a good question. Thoughts on Elon's baby's name? All right. I'm trying to recall, Cox chimes in. This is how you spell. It's spelled XAEA-12. And Grimes, the mother of the baby, and I don't have this tweet pulled up on here, but I'm going to pull it up on my iPad just so I can read it off for the Habibis, because it is just off the wall, batshit crazy. Okay. Actually, you know what? Let me try to pull it up right now, just because I want people to see this.
But are we talking about Elon Musk? Elon Musk?
Yeah, we're talking about Elon Musk. The mother of his child, her name is Grimes, which, of course, if your name is Grimes, household material right there.
100%.
She's definitely.
What I like about Elon Musk, though, is I think he is a professional Twitter troll. Like, the way he uses Twitter and the way he trolls on it is his own special case.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he takes it seriously, and he doesn't take himself seriously on there, and he knows how to cause a reaction. Now, I'm not saying he's like so smart on it, and he's like, it's like 3D or 4D chess and all that kind of shit. Because he does some self errors, and that's what shit posting is. Like a lot of people get banned off of it for shit posting.
Here's the tweet. I got it right here. Just look at that. X, the unknown variable. AE, my elven spelling of AI, love and or artificial intelligence. A-12 is the precursor to SR-17, our favorite aircraft, because of course. And why wouldn't you name a child after an aircraft?
Right.
No weapons, no defenses, just speed. Great in battle, but non-violent. Is this like a damn avatar you're creating right here?
Right. It had to be. I think that's what she's going through. She's going through.
Plus A equals Archangel, my favorite song, and then the X metal rat. What the like what? I mean, white people gotta stop, man. What?
White people gotta stop.
White people. Sure. I am waging jihad on this. This is the one thing I didn't mention this in our pre-show notes, but this is the one thing I'm waging jihad on. White people and anybody for that matter. Stop naming your kids dumb names. Just no, stop. We got it. It's 2020. We've seen this. I've seen this stuff from over the last 20 years. I've seen one particular couple, or not one particular child in, or at least I heard stories of one child who was named A, then the dash, and then A, and it was pronounced a dasha.
A dasha?
A dasha.
Wait, was this really a white person name?
No, this was. I think she was African American, but like.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was gonna say.
That sounds like a okay, but this is 10 years ago, so like white people have definitely taken the crown back of naming their kids off the, like.
Well, it's very very generic names that come.
Yeah, that's like some people like they're like. For every Adasha, there's like one child that's named like Adolf Hitler Smith. I'm not even joking about that too, because there are legit kids in the world with the Adolf Hitler name.
No, that's 100%. And for every chandelier, there's a Chad.
There is a Chad. So moving on. What were we talking about?
Well, going over the terror stuff. Well, moving on from that, what I also wanted to touch on was New York and how they're deciding after 115 years to actually start wiping down the metro. Yeah, I mean, they should have done this months ago. And not only that, they should have closed down the metro like months ago. And I think it should be considered a scandal how badly they handled the metro.
Yeah,
from early March to mid-March, the New York Health Commissioner, the mayor. All of them were still talking about using the metro in everyday life, and everybody should continue their everyday life and all this kind of shit. And I don't know what else. And then you have these people tweeting that everybody fucking knew about the coronavirus in January except for Donald Trump. And it's like, that's not the case.
Yeah,
that's not the case at all. And I think New York should be a bigger failure of a state. Like they want to prop up Andrew like he's some mastermind in handling the coronavirus. Yeah. When in reality, the best states that handled it was like California, Ohio, and some other ones. But far from it would be New York. I think they have the highest death toll in and it's finally curving, of course.
Yeah.
Because they had it from earlier on, but compared to Georgia, compared to Florida, who the media would love to shit on, it's not even close.
And here's the thing, and this was reported this week that 1,700 previously undisclosed deaths were reported at nursing homes and adult care facilities. And these were people that were released from the hospital. They were discharged from the hospital and sent to these nursing homes and adult care facilities. I have no idea how that happened. But when you look at that, you're like, that has to be government failure, is it not?
100%. It needs to be back onto the mayor and on the governor. They sent these old people out to die. And that's 100% what it was. And people are like, they rag on other ones who say that death is just what's going to be happening, and we need to reopen and we need to move on and all this kind of stuff. And you can see their point of view, and you can see the point of view of like, well, how many deaths are worth it? Right. But the thing is, by doing what we're doing right now, how many cancer patient deaths are worth it? How many nursing home elderly deaths are worth it? Like, where's the trade-off on both?
Yeah,
on both sides
and the thing
of this story.
Let me see if I have this here.
Kiyumo's nipple bars entered the chat. I'm just reading off of the comment.
So Kate Hyde says, finally, the subway poles are as disinfected as Cuomo's nipple bars. Which, by the way, are we sure that Cuomo has nipple bars? It looks close to it, or does?
It does. I mean, when I was younger and living in Abu Dhabi and stuff, I was thinking of getting nipple rings as a form of rebellion. Yeah, because I couldn't get a tattoo anywhere because that was hard.
But you get little nipple rings.
Yeah. You get a needle and a lemon, and then you just get it into it. And
Fuzzy says Cuomo's nipple bars have entered the chat.
I'm surprised. Honestly, I am surprised that nobody has made a Twitter account as his nipple rings, because that would be hilarious as fuck. Just be Andrew's nipple rings. It's just this picture of him wearing that white shirt of his nipple.
Well, what's weird is if someone created a nipple ring account on Instagram, you know how they had like a policy that was like very they're very aggressive about banning and censoring nipples. Like what if they put Andrew Cuomo's nipple rings on all like
that would be perfect. Well, I mean, then a lot of people on TikTok and on Instagram and stuff would have to have that.
Yeah, I mean, like,
and also,
Kate Hyde says his 10-year girlfriend didn't deny it and instead yelled at everyone for body shaming. Speaking of body shaming, can we talk about Adele's birthday photo?
Thank you. I was going to say that. I mean, it's like a reverse body shaming or something, because it caused like a huge outroar of
who's really mad about that? I can't name, like, I saw one tweet on CBS News reporting that Adele's birthday photo was causing, all sorts of debate about body image, and like I haven't seen one single post.
One post about it, but I mean, we're not on Instagram. Maybe if we went on Instagram, we could have seen it, or where she posted, or anything like that. And,
I mean, it's just so wild to think that Adele turned into a smartphone. Look at this. You guys see this? Adele turned it. All right, so Political Junkie asks, "Who's Adele?" Are you kidding me? Really?
She's. I think to me, she's the best solo woman artist out there. I love Adele. I love her so. I think she's better than Beyonce. I think she's better than Izzo. I think she's better than any of these people out there. I think.
I mean, I probably agree with that. Adele is the most. She is the most likable of the divas, I would say.
Right. Well, I like what Matt asked. He asked, "Are nipple rings halal?" And no, they're actually haram. On males, And I don't know about females, but on males, any kind of piercing or jewelry or anything like that is haram.
It is haram. Yeah, I'll never get a piercing. Jay might get a piercing, but he might get it more down south.
I might have a couple, you know.
You might actually already have a few.
The only one knows is Bruce's mom. She knows for
Pierce
sure.
butthole. Oh my god! All right, so yeah, that I'm glad we addressed the Adele thing because that was just all sorts of dumb.
Well, somebody tweeted out, I forget who it was, but he's a comedian. He's like, well,
Tim Dillon. Oh,
Adele, yeah. She needs to gain 600 pounds and all this kind of stuff, and then she's gonna be a hero and stuff. And that's the case. I mean, if you ever tweet about Izzo's weight or anything like that, people like they get on you and they attack you for it and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, it's not body shaming to say if you're a 600-pound whale, saying 600-pound whale is body shaming. But if you're a 600-pound whale, you're gonna die. It's known. And when people are coming out saying that, oh, I love her confidence, even though she's like a fucking whale and all this kind of stuff, it's like, you need to tone that down because you don't want to give kids, or you don't want to give other people who are going to find these people inspirational, the idea of being that fat is good or is empowering or anything like that. And I think Adele did an amazing thing.
Yeah, from Tim Dillon, who's, by the way, a really, really funny comedian. Adele must gain 600 pounds to be a true queen. She must a cruise ship. She must be lowered onto the stage by a crane. Anything less is immoral.
And you know what? I could so see that as like a South Park skit or some shit like that because of how well they make fun of that kind of stuff. That's 100% true. That's 100% true. It's like, go girl, more power to you, and all this kind of stuff, and being fat.
Yeah, Bean Dude asks, does Jay have a Prince Albert? I'm betting he does.
You have to ask Bruce's mom. No, she'd tell you she's not shy. Trust me, she's not shy.
All right. So, by the way, with respect to the subway getting clean for the first time overnight. Now the 115 years. So is it the first time it's ever been cleaned in 115 years, or the first time they've ever had to shut it down to be cleaned in 115 years?
I think shut it down to be cleaned.
Okay,
but to be honest, like I am surprised, like the Chinese wet markets that diseases haven't come out of the metro in New York because that thing is disgusting. Yeah. But I think lucky for us as people, we don't outside from chlamydia, we don't get diseases from human waste, which is all in the New York metro. I remember I visited. I have an aunt in New Jersey, so I go visit New York from time to time. Mm-hmm. And honestly, the difference it is a benefit to have some sort of public transportation as they do up there, because it's very easy to go from there to Maryland to where I have family all around there, to Virginia and so on. But I'd rather just rent a car and drive because it's disgusting. It really
I really don't like taking the metro here in DC even. It's just too much. Let's get to some comments here from Matt. Matt's idea shop. Adele isn't woke if she doesn't labor for breath between verses. Julio says, I'm giving this vid a thumbs down until the urn makes an appearance. I'm going to bring him in and probably like 10 of 11. We'll
after his Ramadan nap.
After his Ramadan nap. Drew Burning asks, is Bruce Jenner now a mom? Ooh, that's a good question.
That is. I mean, she is considered a mom right now, but I don't like the dick, so I'm not answering that way.
Matt, again, make the subway free, but you have to clean it while you ride. That's pretty good.
I like that.
Anong chimes in. Correction: Siraj isn't allowed on the metro in DC.
He went with a backpack and a padded shirt, trying to be white and khakis. Can you imagine that?
Oh, me?
Yeah, you. There was a picture of you and some other guy in.
That was Phil Wegman.
Yeah, you guys walked in.
We wore the
wearing
exact
the
same
same
outfit.
shit.
It was so bad. I have to find that photo. It was tweeted out.
I think that's the uniform of DC.
That is a DC
of
uniform.
DC journalists.
It's very much a DC uniform. Matt Jungle asked, "Can we talk about the press sec dunking on the media, walking away?" I did watch that clip just in passing, and it was kind of funny. It was the Reuters reporter, blanking on his name, bald guy.
Not all bald guys are bad.
This is a white bald guy, okay?
Well, I'm turning right now. No, but her comment was pretty good. And the whole idea of a press secretary, to me, anyways, is they lie in a way that it's supposed to be seamless and smooth and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Now, the only difference between when there is a Republican as president and their press secretary lies, and when somebody like Obama is president and their press secretary lies, is whether or not the press eats it up. And the way the press I don't remember his name, but Obama's press secretary could just seamlessly talk.
So he had
and everybody just agree with it and be like, yeah, it's all good and blah, 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 compared to how it is with a Republican. It's to me, it's more entertaining, to be honest.
Yeah, and the thing is, the reason, so the press gets up in arms all the time about when the press secretary lies, when it's a Republican president, as you said. Like they're giving it, Sean Spicer and Sarah Huckabee Sanders tons of shit for lying to the people or lying to the American people based on what's coming out of the Trump administration. But like if you look at Obama's press secretaries, Josh Earnest, Jay Carney, I think Robert Gibbs was the first one. I mean, all of them. I mean, they just did it in a more shady way to make it look like, we're going to just say these things because we know that the press isn't ever going to ask follow-up questions. The only difference in the Republican administration is that the press asks follow-up questions, and they feel like more emboldened to do so because they really are looking for that gotcha moment. And we've seen it over the course of the last 3.5 years. You now have reporters in the White House press briefing room who are now feel they have to be a part of the story. Like it is imperative to drive up ratings and clicks to get into a tit for tat with whether it be the press secretary or whether it be President Trump himself. You have like Jim Acosta, Brian Karem, Caitlin Collins, a bunch of people.
Jim Acosta was the first guy to who actually got me banned and out of Twitter. I think it was.
Oh, was he really?
I think so because I photoshopped him in a tweet, in a picture and stuff. And I think
that was the very first time he got banned. I really wish. So. I really wish they had the power of foresight.
To be honest, I think they're smart. I mean, for all the shit we give them on Twitter and stuff like that, and how we react to them, they know the game and they play it to the people that they're going to benefit from the most, that they're going to be able to take their money off of. And more power to them. And more power to them. I mean, Acosta knows exactly who his audience is. He doesn't give a shit about what I say or people on the right say or anything like that, because he's not catering to telling the truth or presenting it in a way the way it actually happened. He's in it to present it in a way that's going to get him retweets, likes, and people buying his books. And once people see the same methodology that Jim Acosta is using and see how well it's helped propel him as, as a DC journalist,
Mhm.
they're using that in the same way. And I think,
these
I
people are
honestly
getting
think
book
he was
deals.
the first and most loud of them to actually benefit from it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where he goes. And look, I'll be the first to say it. Jim Acosta is a little bitch and he's a piece of shit. And I hate the guy. Like, I hate him so much because of the way he tries to portray himself as some sort of like firefighting hero coming out and yelling questions. And he's like, oh, I asked a question, nobody answered. It's like, because they said it was over, he's walking out. You're four or five rows down and you're yelling something.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off, dude. Nobody heard you.
Well, what's interesting though is just like with the sort of the progress that has been made with social media and just the internet being at the tip of your fingers on your smartphone, it's so much easier to call out this BS that you're seeing on some of these mainstream outlets, that it seems like it's happening all the time. And yes, it was always happening all the time. The main difference now is that we're just calling it out, and that's
right. And able to see it.
And able to see it in real time.
What it really is. And when you're looking at these people, especially people who work for MSNBC, people who work for Fox, people who work for CNN, journalism is a game. It's a political game.
Yeah.
And I really honestly think of it as political. A lot of them are political activists. Mm-hmm. They think that they can hide behind journalism and consider themselves unbiased and just out here to give you the truth. Like on the right, we have like the Lou Dobbs, we have the Sean Hannitys and all that kind of honestly shit garbage people. And then on the left, you have like the Chris Hannity or Chris Hayes,
the Chris Hannitys,
Maddow, and Brian Stelter and stuff. And it's getting just too muddy. There's honestly almost nobody in mainstream journalism, either coming from CNN, Fox, or wherever, that you can honestly see as unbiased. I mean, the biggest example you can see is on Fox, which would be Chris Wallace and what's
Brett Baer.
Brett Baer.
Yeah.
And a lot of people like to think that Jake Tapper is like that, but he's not. I don't. To me, he's not at all. I think he's very, very biased, and he likes to do the political jabs and stuff. And that's where Twitter has hurt journalism, is where they want to do these political jabs to get retweets and likes, but it's showcasing and it's showing their hands. Yeah. And I think that people who really don't do that, like Brett Baer and like Chris Wallace, they don't do that. They don't show their hand, and they call shit out on the right. They do. They call it out. I mean, Jake Tapper the other time he tweeted like, okay, so we heard Tara Reid, but what about the 20 other people for Donald Trump? He's never had one of those people on, and he's never had Tara Reid on. So why is he even fucking commenting on anything whatsoever? Have these people on. Have a discussion with them. Show us that you really actually give a shit about the truth as it is.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say, like, I've tried to get Tara Reid on my podcast. She hasn't responded to any of my messages, but that's just because I'm small potatoes. Like, no one cares about me.
I care. I love you.
Habibi. It's touching. But yeah, like, I mean, I don't, with the whole Jake Tapper tweet, that's sort of like emblematic of a lot of people on the left who are now very much pro-Biden. And like, that's the automatic go-to is like, oh, okay, so he was accused of sexual assault. What about Trump? Like, that's the immediate go-to defense. Like, you're completely sidestepping the issue here. Yeah, we kind of, when all this happened, when Trump was running in 2016, all this stuff was pretty much being fleshed out in real time. And that wasn't enough, obviously, for people to give up on him. And it certainly obviously wasn't enough to help Hillary win. even the Access Hollywood tape wasn't enough for Hillary to win, which is crazy if you think about it.
Absolutely. I think it would have ruined, like something like that would have ruined anyone else's career except for Bill Clinton, except for somebody like Biden. It would have ruined a Mitt Romney. It would have ruined a John McCain. Absolutely. Would have ruined Bill Clinton? No. Because we know it. They went through the same shit and it didn't ruin them.
Yeah.
It didn't. But it would ruin other people. And I think that's what people still latch on to Trump for, is because he gets away with the shit that other people got away with that shouldn't have gotten away with.
And that's
the
probably
only reason
why
they got away with it was because they were on the left.
That's probably why there's an extra amount of animosity towards Trump, is because he was one of the very few Republicans who actually fought back against all of these things. And I mean, pretty much came out on top. Few comments here and questions. Is Ernie halal or kosher? He's actually both, because I'm Muslim and my wife is Jewish. So
that's you are bringing everyone together.
I have to. Drew Burning, new press sec as a mom. Oh, Kaylee McEnany, watch out. Watch out for Jay. Jeff Mason, that was the reporter from Reuters. So I was mentioning before, I was getting into a tit for tat with McEnany. And
let me just comment. I think she's going to do great. I honestly do. She's going to
she's TV ready. She's TV ready.
And just let things flow off of her like nothing. She's not going to stagger. She's not going to do anything.
Jay, let's see them biceps. You've been working out? Oh,
I have not. As you can see, I have not been working.
Oh, look!
I need to get tanned. That's what I need to
do. Let's see. Wow. Well, dog is in your halal, kosher. Well, yes, to eat. Definitely not. Does White House press seating matter? Why did Paula Reed and company complain? Look, Paula Reed did something really shady the last couple of weeks. I'm trying to remember. It's escaping me. We'll come back to that one.
But I don't think it does matter. And I think when she was told to move and stuff or whatever, just change your seat. People will call on you when they call on you. Yeah. If they don't call on you, they don't call on you. It's whatever. But to me, I think
seating really does.
People in the press pool in DC are the biggest, whiniest, like pieces of shit sissies that you can find.
Thank you. I appreciate you calling me that.
You're very welcome, sir.
I am quite a whiny little bitch.
Well, maybe to your wife at night, but
and Ernie.
I don't on Twitter and stuff like that. You stand your ground pretty well. Either if you're going after people on the right for bad takes, or you're going after people left with bad takes, you keep it.
I don't go after anyone unless I have an ironclad. Unless I have something ironclad to go up against them with. Carlos says, if God isn't real, then when does the palm of a man fit so perfectly around the throat of a goose?
When does it?
I think he meant why.
Probably Thanksgiving. I know why.
All right. I'm going to go get Ernie. Jay, I want you to go ahead and answer this one. Who is worse, Acosta or Stelter?
Stelter, 100%. 100%.
Right, explain why while I go get Ernie.
Well, the main reason why is because the way Stelter tries to present himself on TV, and the way he pretends to be a media journalist, and we see all of these gaffes and mishaps and mistakes and falsehoods coming out of the Washington Post, especially coming out of MSNBC and New York Times and all that kind of stuff. And they like to pretend that they're unbiased news network, but they only go after Fox. He is a glorified media matters little bitch. And I think this is probably going to get off of YouTube because of the cursing and the way I talk about these people. But he just irks me in a way that is unprecedented with other people in journalism. And I think he
right,
he
here he
is one
is.
of the reasons why he makes journalism a joke. There he is.
All right, here's Ernie. There he is. Here's this little guy. Ernie, say hello to the Habibis. All right.
Marhaba.
What's up, buddy? Let's see. Yeah, so I came back with Ernie. Now you give your thumbs up, Julio. Oh yeah, I forgot when the trip died. She had pancreatic cancer. She got really. That's the worst type of cancer, man. I would never want that. Never. Man.
I can't. Monica Lewinsky or I don't know. Jay put on a fur. Only if it's coming out of your mom's closet, Cox.
MFK, Jen Rubin, Max Boot, Tom Nichols. Oof.
Oh God. Well, to be honest, I mean, Tom Nichols has the tits. That's for sure. I mean, you could tit fuck that shit.
Julio brings up. We've been meaning to talk about this. The Asian murder hornets.
Excuse me, but can you please call them the Chinese Communist Party hornets?
Wow.
People are going to think that you're calling Asian Americans murder hornets.
Yeah, I mean, look, we should be blaming all Asian Americans already for the hornets.
Well, for the coronavirus too. My favorite thing when the Secretary of State tweeted out about the coronavirus and letting everybody know that China is responsible. You get journalists coming up and saying, "Oh, if you're saying China, people are going to think you're talking about Asian Americans." It's like people who are stupid as shit are already going to think that. But for you to think that Asians are all Chinese is racist in itself. I don't understand.
Oh, the conflation of the Jay, Habibi, are the cops coming after you? Is that DHS?
Oh, you can hear that? No, it's something out here in Orange County. I don't know what's going on.
Maybe they're coming. Maybe they're.
I think somebody called the cops on a black guy. That's 100% sure. Over here in Orange County.
I'm sure it was because Ernie was spotted on camera, and immediately they're like, "Oh man, there's an Ernie sighting in Southern California. We gotta arrest." Right, Ern? Hmm?
Look, he is thick. Is he getting thicker, or is he not fasting?
He's not fasting. Fasting? You kidding me?
So who do you have? Who do you have on your list?
What the list time, baby. All right, here's my right now de facto number. Oh no, that was last week. Lisa Bloom. She's just done. She's just awful. Not that we did want to talk about Bethany with the grandma killer, but here we go. Here's number one.
Man, I haven't seen this guy in a while.
The odds-on favorite for number one, and again, the week is still young, so there's a good chance he could get knocked off.
Right.
You're seeing here from how do we pronounce it? Cenk Uygur.
Piece of shit. That's how I pronounce it.
Cenk writes, if we had a Democrat with balls when we take over, they cut off funding to red states and make them beg for their handout. Almost all of them are welfare queens who live off the blue states. Republican-run states are on average miserable failures who take more from federal government.
This is such a ridiculous. I was going to say the other R word, but it's such a ridiculous talking point because a lot of factors come into what is federally run, and the federal government is bloated as fuck, and it needs to be toned down into state level things. But when it comes out, there's a lot of different things, different kind of federally run programs that go into red states as well, be it military bases, be it what have you. They go into it, and then they blanket it as all of this federal funding going into red states, and it's being paid for by the blue states. And it's not just that's just not true.
Yeah.
Especially when you look at some of the poor places in it, and like you were saying before, it looks like he just hates poor people.
Yeah. I mean, the crazy thing about it is, like, he was getting dunked on by people within his own company, within the Young Turks. Emma Vigeland was just being like, yeah, this is an awful take.
That's the good thing about that. I'm surprised they haven't union yet.
Yeah, like, why punish these Republican states? They have plenty of people who are obviously low income, who are suffering in some of these counties, and a lot of them happen to be democratically leaning, left-leaning voters. All right, Ernie wants down. I'm gonna put him down. Oh, you good, buddy? You okay? You want to come back? He's just looking at me. Look at this guy. Look at this guy, Ernie. What you want?
Yeah, look at him. He's like he liked.
Ernie?
He wants the camera. Look at him. He's coming right back. Oh no.
He's walking around. I might have to open the door. Let me see. Yeah, bud. There we go. I was just saying that it seems as if that Schenk doesn't understand how, in order to turn a lot of these states blue like he so wants, he's willing to just like choke them to death before they ever turn blue. So like Texas, for example, they've had a huge influx of people coming in from the West, California, because the taxes are too high, and they're starting to change the demographics of the state. We might not see Texas go blue this election cycle, but in like maybe 4, maybe 8 years, you might see it become a purple state, which is kind of crazy if you think about it.
No, it really is. And the funny thing about it is, like, I live here in California as well. Luckily, I live in Orange County, and I have a property like down south a little bit that's a little bit more purple. I mean, it still leans blue, absolutely, and a lot of the things come off the state. But they leave these places because of the hardships, because they can't make a living.
Yeah.
And go into Texas and into other places and make it as bad as what they're leaving. And it's a funny thing. And more people are going to be leaving out of California.
Yeah.
Because welfare states don't work. They don't, especially when they're run by people like Newsom, who thinks they should have open borders, and they should have healthcare for illegals, and they should have all that kind of stuff. And it doesn't seem well for people who are coming into this country, working hard and trying to make a living for themselves and their family.
Yeah.
But we got to keep on going. Let's see who else is making the list.
Okay. Let's see. I guess we'll run a little bit over time just because we haven't completely finished everything, and because the Habibis are here, and we won't go for a full 2 hours. But because I will have to use the bathroom because I was fasting all day. This one from this is an interesting one. Bethany Mandel, and for disclaimer here. Bethany is the wife of my colleague Seth Mandel. I know Bethany personally.
Who is a Hillary lover and a lib.
And a lib. She is. I know her personally. She's very nice.
Not fooling anybody. I don't know how he fooled Bethany, but he's not fooling nobody.
So she writes. So she had a very long thread, but this was the one tweet that really grabbed everyone's attention, and she was getting a ratio for this.
Right.
When she was writing, "You can call me a grandma killer. I'm not sacrificing my home, food on the table. All of our docs and dentists, every form of pleasure, museums, zoos, restaurants, all my kids' teachers in order to make other people comfortable. If you want to stay locked down, do. I'm not." So
and a disclaimer as well. This is part of a full thread as well. It's not just a
I
standalone.
encourage everyone watching to go actually read their thread, because she does actually make a lot of good points. And I don't actually disagree with her completely, because I think in terms of reopening the economy, I think there were a lot of people who were dunking on her sort of unnecessarily.
Well, also taking out of context, and
weird.
And her fault as well. Like the grandma killer not being part of the rest of it is really a little bit bad.
Hold on 1 second. I'm hearing Ernie. He wants back in.
Go get him.
What is it, buddy? Where you at? Is it the other door? Oh, there he is.
And to everybody listening, the best one out of this tropical truly case would have to be the passion fruit. That one is my favorite.
There we go. He's back. Look at him.
There he is.
Yeah. So, see, you got a little bit more Ernie, and he wants to be here. Hey, bud. Good boy. So the thing about Bethany's tweet, I think it was just like she had dug herself so deep already into the thread that the grandma killer was just like the immediate word that she used. That I feel like she would have hit her point a little bit better if she just didn't use the term grandma killer.
Right.
But that was just like that. She was teeing it up for all of her critics to just absolutely body her. And if you're wondering what Ernie,
take that out. And the funny thing is, like, that started trending on Twitter as well, the grandma killer thing.
Yeah.
But I can see it on both sides of where it's coming from.
Yeah. You know,
people are trying to say, okay, how many deaths are worth opening up? How many are you willing to sacrifice? All this kind of like, deep in type of questions on something we deal with every single day. I mean, for life to continue, there's going to be sacrifices, and there's going to be things that you're not going to be happy living with. These are the type of things that people in Syria, people in Yemen, people in Africa, they live with every single day. It's either, are you going to feed your kids and let grandma die, or are you going to let everybody die? Which one is it? But I think more to her point was addressing the people who are like, we need to be shut down completely. We need to have no deaths. We need to have zero everything. We need to flatten everything to zero and all this kind of stuff. So it's like switching it from, we need to flatten the curve. We need to make sure that we can get people less infected. People are still going to die. To like, we have to make sure nobody dies whatsoever.
Yeah. From Caroline Court, who I believe is LB. I have no idea. I'm just assuming here. Here's the thing: if the zoo is open and people want to go, they can. If they don't. But is the zoo open? I have no idea if the zoo is open.
I don't think it will be open. I don't think that will be open. I don't think restaurants will be open. I don't think a lot of things will be open for a while until we get a treatment, either by vaccine or by medication or something like that. That's my 100% view. And I think the stuff coming out of Israel, the stuff coming out of some other company, I forget the drug name, it starts with a G. And I think
remdesivir from the company starts with a G. I can't remember it, but remdesivir seems to have the most success right now.
Exactly. And I think once we get a better clinical trial off of treatment, we're going to be able to start reopening and stuff.
So
start things going through.
Ernie is currently priming his third dinner by licking the salt off of me. He's getting me ready to roast me.
Is that salt? Because I know it's after Ramadan over there.
Yeah, it is the name.
Past the hour, and I've had the whole case. I went through the whole case, and I've let people know that the best one out of this has to be the passion fruit.
Yeah, people pointing out that it's Gilead that's the company creating remdesivir.
And also Caroline Court is LB.
It is LB.
Yeah,
I think that's her real name, but it's all good. LB. There you go.
I don't think Carolina Court is
We're
her
gonna
name.
5 more minutes, and we're gonna end it on how many minutes? 69 minutes, baby. Nice.
Oh yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. So back to what did I want to pull up here? Axl Rose is trending. Did you see this?
No, I did not.
So Axl Rose tweets, "It's official. Whatever anyone may have previously thought of Steve Mnuchin, he's officially an asshole." And then Mnuchin replies, "What have you done for the country lately?"
No, that's perfect though. Like, I don't think that deserves to be on the list. I think that is.
I'm not putting him on the list. I'm just pointing that out. If anything, Axl Rose should go on the list.
Probably. I mean, that was a pretty good one.
So out there, it doesn't make any sense. It's oh my God. Will he stop? He'll never stop.
No, he's going for it. Look at him go.
There's so many memes that could be made out of this. Just being like, quarantine starts. Ernie with his meat.
I'm pretty sure there's other places you put peanut butter on there.
Yeah. That's so good. So yeah, man, I really hope I can make it to 3 more minutes because I really got paid.
Well, put up the next one. What's the next one that you got?
For the list, those are the main ones. Let me see if there are any other ones because it's honestly, not gonna lie, kind of light. Let me see if Kurt Eichenwald have anything. Linda Hirschman's probably gonna go on there. Lisa Bloom made it number 3 last week. Oh,
no, absolutely. Oh yeah. Oh God.
Martin Tolchin.
The co-founder of Politico, right?
He is the former reporter for the New York Times and the founder and editor-in-chief of The Hill, and was an advisor during the pre-launch phase of Politico. And he wrote to the editor of the New York Times, "I totally disagree with this editorial. I don't want an investigation. I want a coronation of Joe Biden. Would he make a great president? Would he make a good president? Good enough. Would he make a better president than the president? Absolutely. I don't want justice. I want removal of Donald Trump from office, and Mr. Biden is our best chance." That is the essential thing.
My favorite thing is that's probably what's going through the minds of every Democrat who's going to be voting for Biden. Is like, will he make a good president? No. Will he be good? That's good enough.
So Matt Jungle wants me to show the Randy Johnson meme that I made. Him throwing a writing hand emoji and hitting the dove blue check.
That one is perfect.
Yeah, once I'll post it. But right now, you're just gonna have to rely on Twitter. But sorry about that.
No, but what I liked about him tweeting that is I forget who, and I wish I had it with me. But somebody was tweeting out that about like how he's not a founder of Politico or The Hill or whatever. But the thing is that he co-founded Politico, and he is, I think, the founder of The Hill. And it's really showing the hand of how a lot of these people operate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting worse and worse and harder to see any outlet that's out there right now as unbiased or is going to give you the complete 100% truth. And honestly, I think that right there should be in the top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, even though it's not a tweet, but he did send the email.
So
he should be taking
Fox asked, why did we switch from Instagram to YouTube? This is a better user interface for us. We're actually able to show tweets and actually have a little bit more interaction with you, Habibis. We wouldn't really be able to see the comments or be able to post them on our live stream here. And
you can cut it up and put it on Instagram pretty well. And
Yeah,
they're right. It's 69 right now, baby. It is 69 right now.
So we actually got to go right now. So Habibis, this has been great. Glad you all could be a part of this. We'll catch you on the Instagrams and on the Twitters and Facebooks, and we're gonna close this out right now. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Peace, Habibis.